Today we're taking a look at ASX listed stock Sayona Mining, ticker SYA, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see SYA go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another ASX stock analysis video. Today we're looking at Sayona Mining, ticker SYA. This is a lithium explorer. Currently they've got a number of different opportunities. One in Australia in the Pilbara region, which is a lithium gold project. Then they've also got 3 other lithium opportunities, including their flagship lithium project out of the North Americas. Really good time to be getting into the lithium market at the moment, with the whole battery boom just starting to begin, supply chains starting to tighten, and lithium being a key resource. There is honestly no better time to get into lithium than right now. So SYA may be one of those companies that you'd like to look at, potentially do some research on it, and it might be a great fit for you. But today simply we're performing some technical analysis on their chart, making some predictions on the price and where we can expect to see it go within the next few days, weeks and months. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into today's analysis. Welcome into the Sayona chart, guys. As you can see, Sayona has certainly been enjoying the lithium run that we have seen since the start of 2021. They went from basically a value over here sitting right at about 1 cent. They've gone all the way up to their all-time high of currently 20 cents. Huge in the space of a year, literally 20 times if people had gotten in past that point. Currently now sitting at 13 cents, and it looks to be a consolidation sort of pattern we are seeing here over the, I suppose, past few months. Now let's put in, I suppose, a few key indicators for ourselves. Firstly, we need to understand, is there a trend currently in place? And I'd suggest that the latest trend which we have seen would be starting back from the peak here, which was back in the 20th of December. Do that, go all the way down, and I'd suggest this right here would be a nice little trend line. That to me looks like we're currently sitting right smack bang at the top of a potential trend. Alternatively, if we want to take a longer term perspective, what we can do is take from this little peak that we saw here and put in place the same line but moving it down on a bit of a sharper angle. And what that actually shows us is that is the trend which has been prevalent. And the reason I say that is because as soon as that trend line broke, we saw a large increase in the price. So for me, that is more of a relevant trend when we're talking, I suppose, in the short term or from an overall perspective. So a downtrend that we have seen basically from the 26th of October has been broken over the past week or so, which is really fantastic stuff. And we hit a peak on that breakout of 14.5. We've come back down, and it looks like now our 20-day moving average sitting at 12.7 cents will be coming through and acting as a point of support, whereas our 50-day moving average, currently sitting at 13.9 cents, will be acting as a key point of resistance for us. We do have a clear point of horizontal support though as well in place, and that is at that 13 cent mark. As you can see, if we drag that through, that has been a major point of breakouts, bounces and indecision points in the past, as well as a bit more recently. And of course right now we've seen 3 bounces over the past 3 days off that 13 cent mark. We're still trading today, but that looks like it is, I suppose, the key sort of support point that needs to be held. Now, where is our key point of resistance? Well, obviously 50-day moving average is going to act as a bit of a resistance point, but we've seen 2 consecutive days in January we have had a bit of a bounce off this 14.5 cent mark. So what I'm going to do is put in place another line there. You can see this is also another major point of support in the past, but now is acting as a resistance point for us at 14.5 cents. So we're going to leave that line there. Basically, we have hopefully now entered a channel where either A, we'll start seeing some consolidation sideways like that, or B, we're going to see a breakthrough of the 14.5 cent mark and establish what will become a new nice little uptrend that we're seeing there. What I'm also going to do is I'm just going to keep extending this line out. There is always the potential that if for whatever reason, as you can see, we're now back at 13 cents. If the 13 cent mark fails, we're going to either A, bounce off the 20-day moving average, which is at 12.7 cents, or B, we're going to bounce off the old downtrend line that we saw, which is currently sitting based on today at 12.5 cents. So that is still a very relevant line for the time being. Furthermore, if we go into the hourly chart, we can see exactly what really is going on. And it's a bit hard to see, but you can establish that there is consolidation over, I suppose, the past few days within this little range. But it's looking like now the moving averages are converging on the hourly. We're seeing that our short-term moving average is crossing below our medium-term moving average, and it's heading towards as well, of course, our longer-term moving average. That does not necessarily bode well for the direction of this stock within the next, I suppose, few trading days. Now, if we go back out to the daily chart, what does that mean for us? Well, it means we could potentially see a bounce occur off that 12.5 cent mark, as I mentioned previously. So that is indicating that. But what we're also not seeing is a sell-off occur. We've barely seen, if you've noticed, in any of the past trading days, large amounts of volumes being sold off. All the trading days we've seen where we've got huge volumes, it's green. The biggest, I suppose, red day was on the 6th of December. We had a dip, we bounced off it nicely and came back upwards. We've actually seen as well a double bottom occur just there. So that is a very bullish reversal pattern. All in all, based on what we're seeing here, this is certainly uptrending now. I'd suggest we may see a test of the 12.5 cent mark, but I don't think we will be going below that point ever again. Ideally, what we're wanting to see is this channel with the 13 cent support hold up for the next few days. Ideally, we want to close above this point, not at it, because it does allow for a bit of pit trading to occur, resulting in this dropping in value. Let's have a look at a few more indicators to help us as well. MACD. We saw a positive cross back here on the 23rd of December, which is where we saw our reversal. Things are starting to, I suppose, shallow out a bit. The 12-day EMA is now coming back towards the 26-day EMA, but it is not close to it yet. So overall, not looking bad, not looking good. Things are just, I suppose, relaxing a bit. Ideally, hopefully what we do see is something similar to the last red period. We saw multiple peaks in that one. Hopefully we start to see this green period cool off and then swoop back upwards. But the volume for buying needs to be coming in to support that, to make sure the momentum does occur. Of course, if we do have some fundamental pieces of news or announcements come out, that could drive it, but we need to see that volume start to come in as well. Let's have a quick look at the RSI. Chuck that one up there. You can see the RSI is sitting at 49.95, smack bang in the middle. So there is plenty of room for us to continue moving, and really there's not been too much activity from a volume point of view, so I'm not too surprised where we're sitting, because we're sitting smack bang in the middle. You haven't seen lots of buying, you haven't seen lots of selling. Realistically, you've seen even amounts of both, so we're sitting smack bang in the middle of the RSI. That is not really a helpful indicator for us today. Now, if I was to make a prediction on where I'd expect to see, or what my target price would be for Sayona at the moment, it would be to breach this 14.5 cent mark. Ideally, I'd like to see a bounce off the 13 cent support line, move up and then break through the 14.5 cents, or alternatively, we may see this 13 cent support break, a bounce off the 12.5, come back into the channel, maybe another retest of the 13, then back through. Either way, things are looking a lot more bullish now in the short term than they have been over the past few months. That wraps up our analysis on Sayona today, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. Are you a current holder? Are you looking at getting into SYA or potentially into the lithium market in general? Love to hear your thoughts. Of course, if you did enjoy today's analysis as well, guys, make sure you do leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe and hit that bell notification icon for more of this type of content. With that, guys, I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.